Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here. Uh, as you probably saw from the title, we're gonna talk a little bit about potential today, as in human potential or potential of an individual. And it all started, all this train of thought that I had on potential started with a quote that I read on social media site, was on my feed. It said the following: there is nothing more empowering than realizing your potential as an individual, regardless of your background. The quote was made by Candace Owens. I'm not very familiar with what she does. I just googled her a bit, browsed a little bit through her wiki page, but for me it doesn't really matter who says a quote, as long as it's thought-provoking, and I think it was thought-provoking. So there is nothing more empowering than realizing your potential as an individual, regardless of your background. And I think it's a good quote, and it does stir up some thoughts. Well, first, I want to say that I think potential is indeed empowering. When you're a kid or a teen and you find out that you have this one, maybe of more, who knows, special gift, right? For example, you can draw very well, you have a very nice singing voice, you can play an instrument fantastically, or maybe you have a great mind and you can do fast math, or you can create beautiful poems or stories, right? You have a great oratory talent, or whatever it may be. That talent is the base for your potential, right? And that's what the adults around you, teachers, maybe relatives, friends, your family, even your mom and dad, or they can always say, wow, you have such great potential. This thing that you do has great potential to build into something great. And this leads to you living up to your potential, right? So you do things, for example, oh my God, he's so great with people and he has such a great mind, he can know a lot of things, maybe he should be a doctor, right? He's good at biology and chemistry, right? So I think he should be a doctor. Or maybe she draws very well and maybe she can be this great artist everyone loves and create this great work, right? Things like that, they start talking about you living up to your potential. You can also, there's a saying of you wasting your potential. There's plenty of stories of people who were great, for example, in school at a certain subject, right? They were, oh my God, they're so good at math, and then he just became this farmer, or right, who's wasted his potential. Could have become better, or he could have, right? But this begs the question, I think, what actually is potential? Because in my opinion, it's this sort of self-image, right, that you create for yourself. In the future, it's a projected image of who you could be if you follow a certain path, right? For example, if I would play guitar 8 hours a day, right? Practice, and become this great guitarist, and things would start, the success would just follow me, right? So things would just happen, right? So that would be you following up on your potential and living up to it, basically. So this potential is kind of like an ideal image of yourself projected into the future, who you can become. But who creates this image? Is it created by your parents, or by teachers, or by friends, family that kind of gives you this feedback? Or is it created by you? In my opinion, you are the creator of it. I think you create this ideal self-image of who you can become. But that self-image is indeed, is impacted. You can control this more or less, but indeed when someone is in awe of this gift that you have, whatever it is, when you realize when you realize your potential, when you realize this gift you have, is basically when people give you this affirmation, or this, they affirm your talent, or your gift, whatever it is. Wow, you're amazing at this. You should do something about it. You have this great potential. But the gift is the base, and now you're building it up, right? This podium, right? This pedestal of the image. You're building it up with all the comments that everyone makes according to your talent, right? To empower, basically. So, like the quote, it is empowering when you realize your potential, and then you take in the feedback and you actually think, oh my God, I can do these great things as an individual. Right? So you create the potential. This also begs the question, you create the image, right? This ideal image of yourself where you can get in the future. But then you have to work towards it, right? So working towards this potential that you have is a little bit different than building the idea, because building this ideal self-image is quite easy, I would say, and you can do daydreaming and stuff like that with a dream about what you can do, but actually working towards that is harder to do in reality. And what tends to happen, I think, is you start to, there's all these external factors that we do not take into account when we create this image. Because, for example, when you're a kid, right, and someone says, wow, you sing very well, you could become this great singer like, I don't know, one of your favorite idols, right? Or you can be like Taylor Swift, you could be like Corey Taylor, or whatever you like, what kind of music you like. Wow, right, I could become that. What do I need to do, right? And you set up a plan. But the thing is, there's a lot of external factors. For example, if you have if you're great with drawing and you want to become this famous architect that builds all these great buildings like Gaudi, or right, you do need some things, right? You do need the skill to do that. But there's also several external factors that Even you getting the skill is based on external factors. So there's a lot of external influences that need to converge for you to get this opportunity. If you want to build these great buildings, you have to first have the opportunity to do so. Second, you have to be able to take the opportunity, because if you're sick, if you're working on something else, if you're too busy, or if you have personal issues, if you're right, then it's not a good environment for you to do that. So you also need, to be honest, you need some luck as well. So if you're lucky enough to get there, to find the opportunity to work towards it, yes, you can. It's a lot of relationship building as well, which is also very like an external factor, because you cannot force someone to like you, right? Or force someone to like working with you, for example. So all of these external factors have to converge in order for you to fulfill your potential. But you're betting a lot on things that you cannot control. And I think this is where you have to think about, the potential as, I think potential is more of it's an ideal value that you create for the community in a way. So you, if other people see you as a doctor in the future, wow, he can become this great doctor and help the community, right? They have this this view that you can contribute to the welfare of others as well by fulfilling your potential, right? And when you waste your potential, you're doing a disservice to everyone. So I think this negative kind of value, we can talk about value in another video, that's a deep subject. But I think this kind of facet of negativity also exists in potential. And that's why I think it's important to talk about it. Potential is a good thing. It can empower you, it can give you confidence to get to where you're going. You have this vision, right, where you need to get to. But the reality is that during your journey to reach your potential, you change. You do. It's inevitable. The person that creates the ideal of, for example, I want to become, someone said I'm very good at acting, so I want to become this famous Hollywood actor that works in these great movies and gets paid millions of dollars just to be in a movie. Yeah, you can do that, probably, but there's a lot of external factors, right, that are there, and you yourself are changing, because when you create this image, it's probably before even you start studying more about acting. So as you study, so what I'm saying is that the person who creates the image, like yourself, is not the same person that after 2 years of studying acting, it's not the same person as the one that was before school. It's not the same person who finishes acting studies, and is not the same person after 2 years of trying to make it in the business, or 5 years of trying to make it, 10 years of trying to make it. So you yourself are changing throughout time. But the thing is, the potential doesn't. And I think that's where the issue is. It's sometimes the bar is set way too high. And when you actually encounter, you work towards getting to your potential, you can make a more realistic assumption of where you can get to. If you keep following that very well built statue on a pedestal, right, and you want to get there, there's, for example, for any job, a Hollywood actor or an architect, there will be a lot of competition, especially at that level of I want to be world famous, or I want to be very good, I want to become successful. There's going to be a lot of competition and a lot of great talent too. So you need to be very realistic in what you can achieve and not overshoot by a lot, because then you would be wasting your potential. And that inner critic, you can watch my video on the critic, criticism, by the way. So that inner critic will get in and it will start a negative self-talk of what are you doing, you're wasting your life, you're wasting your potential, this is not for you, you could be doing better, you could be doing better things. So what I think is a good step is, first of all, to acknowledge that you yourself are changing throughout time, and that potential also needs to change, because the more you know about a certain subject, the more you can see how little you know, right? There's that saying. So I think you need to adjust this ideal self-image into something more realistic. And also, that takes a little bit of kindness. Being kind on yourself and not setting the bar up too high so that you just fail. Yes, I think potential needs to be changed throughout your life. It's not this fixed, ideal self-image, perfect, right? Perfectionism embodied. It needs to be tweaked. It needs to be adjusted and brought down to more realistic levels. What you can actually do. It's great to have a vision and to realize your potential. It is indeed empowering, but I think you also need to take that power, right, that you get, and not build up this pillar, this self-image so far from yourself that you cannot reach it. Progress is always good. So remember, you are the creator, right? Who creates the image? You create it yourself. So you have all the power over it that you want. Be kind to yourself and don't set the bar too high. Always good to have progress, to evolve, to improve yourself, but you need to do so consistently and with a sustainable growth in mind. Also, this applies, I think, to relationships as well. You can have this, not just work, relationships in other pieces of your life that you can think about. For example, in relationships, you can have this ideal image of the relationship, of how you would feel or how you would, your life would be with this other person. But like I said, throughout time, relationships change too, and the persons involved in the relationship are not the same. The persons that were at the beginning versus throughout time. So this evolution is what kind of needs, you change yourself, so why not change the ideal? Why not change the potential itself? So I think that was kind of it on potential. If you have any thoughts about anything I talked throughout the video, please write a comment below, like, subscribe, share the video if you found it interesting. This helps more than you know. You know, the algorithm really likes these sort of things. So if you found anything of value that I spoke of in this video, you can share it with anyone you know, or write a comment, your thoughts. You agree, you disagree, have something you might like to add. I'd love to hear your thoughts about the video and to see what you guys think. So yes, like, share, subscribe, comment below, and all the best, and see you in the next one.